How do you guys feel about tentacles?
In what context, though? I mean, in a bad dragon context?
Yeah,
Yeah. Ooh. I'm listening.
I want one. Not one from Bad Dragon, actually. There's this other beautiful Etsy store that has these gorgeous, like, glass pink ones. And they're so cute. But I wasn't actually thinking about that. But also on that note, yes, 100%. In relation to just having some tentacles around you at all times in your homely environment.
I feel like it does add a nice touch to the home.
I think so. I would love to be like Ursula with her dress tentacles.
Well, I ask purely because I bought myself a little octopus taxidermy wet specimen and he's cute.
What kind of octopus?
I don't know. See, this is the thing, is I got him off just a guy that was selling his collection. His collection was massive, like just so much random shit. Like he had a giraffe skull, he had a big old croc skull, he had a bunch of different little snakes in jars, big and small, and I did get one. I got a baby cobra, also a wet specimen. And then while I was there, because I went there to pick up the baby cobra, and it was very weird, like finding someone on Facebook Marketplace and then just wandering into their house and being like, "Hi, I'm here to buy a snake." To his wife, who's just like cradling a baby, like, "Oh yeah, sure, come in." I'm like, this is a weird interaction, but okay. And then they had this like tiny little pink octopus. He's so pretty, pink and orange, in a jar, and he's perfect. He looks kind of like a little Dumbo octopus, but he's not.
That's what I thought. I think I saw the photo and I thought that too.
Oh, doesn't he? He's so, and the way he's really like cute. Posed in his jar. I have a big thing for octopi. I really love them. I think they're so pretty and so clever. And I get really upset whenever my housemate dines upon them because I'm a big baby.
Not in front of my wet specimen, please.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh, he was
respect.
Very upset that I brought it home because my shelves upstairs in my house in the living room are just full of all sorts of weird shit. Lots of plants, lots of bones. And he was like, "You can't put it on that shelf." I'm like, "But why?" He's like, "Because it grosses me the fuck out and it's weird that it's there." I'm like, "You eat them." He was like, "That's neither here nor there. Take it away."
You put that whole thing in your mouth.
So now my sweet wet specimens live in my bedroom, which I kind of am more happy about because I get to look at them and admire them all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good news, listeners. Cursed SCP Toad from our day out is here to stay. Friend of the pod, La, did indeed purchase Sweet Toad, and it now lives happily at their house.
She could not resist. So happy.
Because if it wasn't her, it was going to be me.
So I know. I could see it in your eyes. You were looking at him. That's some great things.
I have visitation privileges, which is lovely.
It's almost better. Almost.
Yeah, I think so too. So I know if I'd have brought that home, because bless my mother, she puts up a lot of my shit. If I'd have brought a dead thing home, she would have been probably a little annoyed.
Oh, bless.
But that's okay. She knows that as soon as I move out, if she comes to visit my house, it'll be full of dead shit anyway.
Yep. I have an astounding number of dead and useless things in my house. Including my housemates, but it's fine.
Well, welcome listeners to the Wyrd Sisters, a podcast about the blessed, the bizarre, and all of things the happier you are definitely not knowing about. My name is Tay, and I am a mountain of human mincemeat. If that indicates anything of what this episode is going to be about today, prepare for my segment.
Oh, I can't wait. Well, I am Laura, and I am the gator hatchling that you flushed. I grow fat on your turds and tampons.
And I came to this land in the pocket of a traveller, Lacey.
Oh, that's like the Beast of Gévaudan, maybe. I like that.
It's actually a quote from Aragog from Harry Potter.
Oh, that's really cute.
It is in the little matchbox.
Yes. Oh, Aragog was great. Bless Hagrid, you incompetent fuck.
Well, there is a theme.
There is a theme. Firstly, welcome back to our wildly erratic bi-weekly podcast.
Welcome back to maybe scheduled listening once more.
Yay! I have actually had some indignant messages from people going, "Where the fuck is my podcast?" I went, "I don't know. I'm sorry."
1,000 apologies we beg from your houses, listeners. We do.
Yeah.
We are sorry. We are just going through it. But through it we have been.
How long
And
can
on
we
the other
use
side,
COVID
we
as an
are.
excuse? Because I'm going to keep on that. That's
Mate,
going to
we're not vaccinated. I'm using this excuse till the cows come home. Also, university will be my excuse even years after I've completed this degree. So that's also a thing.
An eternal student.
Mm.
A professional student, some may say.
We have some thank yous to divulge to give. Lacey received something.
So I've just moved house. That was my excuse.
Mhm.
And I received my first bit of mail.
It was your
In a-
first bit. Oh.
First new house mail.
Yes.
Fucking A.
It was beautiful black with red roses with a wax steel stamp on the back.
Oh my god.
And it was a little card from a friend and supporter of the pod, Rebecca. And she sent me the pin that I wanted so badly, which was the We're the Weirdos, Mister, and then sent Tay and Laura some little gifties as well.
I'm a nut. I love it.
And I'm going to be the bigger witch and allow Laura the skelly bone.
Really?
Yes, because I actually really want the Ouija planchard thing really badly. Please, thank you.
Yes, please have the. It's very
Yes.
on brand for you, actually. The little
Yes.
Ouija. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you.
Thank you,
I love this,
Rebecca.
Kelly. I'm very happy. Thank you, Rebecca. You're amazing. We are so miffed and excited. Miffed is. Can I use miffed in this
No.
context?
No, you can't.
No. Look, I'm
Mate,
stupid. I've already.
We're a little bit aroused. I'll say it. We're all thinking it. I'm a little bit.
It's true.
Thank you for the gifts. Thank you.
Yes. We are excited. I can't wait to proudly wear my pin.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, well, I guess it's my turn because I want to go first and I want to tell you a little
Yes.
story.
Did we say the theme?
Well, I was
No.
just going to,
Yes.
but you can.
No, you can. I want to
Oh.
just talk a little more to me, please. I haven't
Anytime.
heard your voices, please.
I know, it's been a long time. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to edit. That's how much I'm excited to hear your voices. So I pushed this topic because I'm a brat and I wanted my way. Because I found, before I even knew what topic I wanted to do, my story. So we are talking once again about animals. Because the first time around when we did man-eaters, that was also me bullying everyone into it. But today we are doing just fucking crazy animal stories, just wild shit. They don't have to be man-eaters. We decided to go with something different. We just wanted to work in our sweet, lovely best friends of the world, who apparently we eat a lot of, but it's fine. So I decided to, I had pre-decided to do this one. I wonder if either of you have ever heard of Hitler's alligator.
Yes.
Not an inkling, as is on brand for me, not knowing fucking anything.
And on brand for Lacey knowing exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Well, as long as I can surprise and shock one of you, that's all I want. Both is better, but one is fine. So, okay, Hitler's alligator. Hitler's alligator actually is called Saturn.
Satan.
No, Saturn.
Did
Saturn
it eat
eating
its
his
child?
kids. He
Yeah.
never had any babies, sadly.
Oh my boy.
We'll get to that. We'll talk about his lack of children. Anyway, so Saturn was a big fucking American alligator. He grew to be 3.5 meters long and he weighed 200 kilos, which for anyone who doesn't use kilos is 441 pounds precisely. So he actually hatched in Mississippi in 1936. He was captured as a baby from the wild and he was brought to Nazi Germany for the Berlin Zoological Garden in 1937. So Berlin Zoological Garden, I know Lacey knows all about this shit already, but Tay, do you know anything about it?
My favorite place in Berlin.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I have to go.
Every
Have
time.
to go.
Every time. Amazing.
I know nothing.
Excellent. Fantastic.
It sounds cool though, but I know nothing.
So In 1937, at the time of Saturn showing up, was either 3,715 or 16,000 animals at the zoo. Every fucking source I went to varied, so I don't know. But there was a lot. A fuck ton of fucking animals. Which was not great. And here's why. But first off, before we get into that, so there's a really fucking wild amount of association between Nazi Germany and animals. Everyone has talked many times about Hitler being vegetarian. If you didn't know that, that's supposedly, it may not be true, apparently. There's some interesting things that I came across while researching this. But anyway, regardless of whether or not Hitler ate animals, so there's a concentration camp called Butcherwald. And there was actually a mini zoo created by the camp commander Karl Koch purely to provide diversion and entertainment for the men to spend their lunch break, because they were busy torturing fucking people and murdering and...
Yeah. Need some downtime from all of that.
You do.
Need some therapy. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go look at some fucking pretty birds, look at some monkeys, feel better. The whole fucking thing was actually financed by money taken from the prisoners of the camp. They called them donations. They weren't. Anyway, sometimes, because Koch enjoyed watching it, they would throw the inmates into the bear pit. So Koch could watch the bears tear them to pieces. So it was fucked up. Second weird point with Nazi Germany and animals. So Hitler's favourite dogs were German Shepherds, naturally. They are a breed of dog that is extremely obedient. They were used as guard dogs in the concentration camps for that reason, and they resemble a wolf. Hitler was super into wolves. He really admired them. He liked for his friends to give him the nickname Wolf, which is really fucking lame. If you give yourself a nickname, it's kind of weird. If you choose a cool name, that's all right. Give yourself a new name. That's fine. But if you are in high school and you're like, I want to be called Wolf, and everyone's like,
all right, furry. On all levels except physical, he is a wolf.
Exactly. Yeah. I say this because, cringeworthy as it is, when I was in my very early teen years, I had a nickname that I really wanted my friends to call me, but I refused to tell them that. I just put it on all my dumb MySpace shit. So there's a lot of shame involved.
What was it?
No, I won't say.
I'll tell you mine if you tell us yours.
Oh my gosh, how do you? What was it? I think it was Sunny, because I loved Sunny Moore so fucking much.
God! Oh my god! For those of you at home that are too young to know, Sunny Moore is also known as Skrillex.
Oh, it all went wrong.
Before he was dubstep king, he was king of emo.
He was a prince of emo, definitely. I think Gerard Way and fucking what's his face were the kings.
Billy Joe Armstrong.
Oh, definitely royalty. No, Burt
Fallout
McCracken.
Boy.
No, Burt McCracken. Fallout Boy was pop punk.
Greasy, hairy, sexy, smelly Burt McCracken. I fucking loved him.
Loved him. Loved the stage gay bullshit that him and Gerard pulled.
Me too.
What was yours?
My email address for the first couple of years, because I got my email address in year 7, grade 6, year 7. It was lowercase x, uppercase X, shadow mutt. Uppercase X, lowercase x at geocities.com.
Oh my god, that takes me back so hard.
Yeah, I used to have a GeoCities website where I would put adoptable wolves and dragon avatars, and I would write stories about them.
Oh, I did that shit too, but I did it on the Neopets forums.
Oh, I did. I roleplayed so much on the Neopets forum.
Same. I never did the furry thing and roleplayed wolves or anything like that. Then fuck, but I definitely had a lot of X-Men characters that I roleplayed that were just me. Yep, exactly.
We probably were in the same forums, but I was also in the weird wolf forums too. I was in fucking everything.
Oh anyway. No, Tay, a proto-furry.
Anyway, Peter Rabbit did this to me. Thank you, Beatrix Potter.
That's very wholesome considering where it could have gone.
Anyway, alligators and Hitler.
So, okay, back on track. So the Nazis' love of animals was weirdly tied into their racial mania. So they, just like people, like they did with literally everyone, divided animals into what was valuable and what was unworthy. So big cats like lions and panthers, super admired. basically, though, like regular cats, domestic cats, they were completely demonized. They were like called treacherous, false, and antisocial because they stalk songbirds. And basically, this Nazi writer called Will Vesper concluded that cats are the Jews among the animals.
Oh,
Holy
what
shit.
a flip from the Egyptians that would worship them as gods.
Right? Like, fucking, this is just more and more proof that the Nazi regime, like, it was fucking wild. It's fucked up. Like, this is, you look at animals and you start being like, yeah, fuck cats. What? Why?
What?
Okay. But anyway, so I just thought those were some interesting asides before we get into our particular boy Saturn, because he's so cute. So 1938 rolls around, and the Berlin Zoo, because it's Nazi Germany, get rid of all the Jewish board members, and they force the Jewish shareholders to sell their stocks at a complete loss, and then basically resold all the stocks to Aryanize the institution. So what happens now we have mixed feelings about, because Jews were not allowed to visit the zoo, they were not allowed to have stocks in the zoo, all their money that they had put into this thing had been completely fucking, like, taken from them. Worse was about to come, but, you know, it started out bad anyway. When it got worse, 22nd of November 1943, Allied bombs start to basically hit the zoo. Over the space of 2 days, 30% of the animal's population was killed in one 24-hour period. In the second 24-hour period, something like the remaining 70-odd% were completely just massacred. Like, the amount of animals that were left by the end of this after either the 3,700 odd or 16,000 odd is just fucked up. So the aquarium was completely destroyed by a direct hit on the 23rd. 20 to 30 alligators and crocodiles were immediately killed. There are these wild press reports about the streets being littered with their corpses while others wandered around searching for food, all fucked up from the bombs and the fires and just artillery shells and shit. Specifically, there's one report that talks about how locals are confronted with the gruesome sight of 4 lifeless bodies of crocodiles. The reptiles have been completely flung out into the street by the explosion. Some of them had survived the blast, horribly wounded, and then died from the cold outside. So it's
Holy
fucked
shit.
up. So if they had 20 to
Fuck.
30 crocodiles and alligators, and like some of them still survived, because this zoo was big, it had a lot of animals. Some of them still survived, including Saturn, which is why we're telling his story. Like, what happened? The place would have been a fucking wreck. There would have been dead animals and dead people everywhere. Did anyone get eaten by these starving crocodiles and alligators?
Totally. They definitely numbed upon the corpses.
It's fucked up. Well, on the flip side, we're about to learn that some of the corpses were fed on by something else as well.
Ooh.
Ooh. So a couple of notable animals did survive. There was one elephant out of 8 called Siam. He was a bull elephant. All the other elephants, his little harem, unfortunately died. There was a hippo who was like a little baby that had just been born that year, called Nachi. I don't know how to pronounce this. Knautsche. I was hoping you would know, Lacey. I don't know.
Oh,
anyway,
sorry.
I was like,
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
any
that's definitely how
idea?
you
Nah,
pronounce it.
fuck it.
No, like KN would be N.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
she.
Not
Anyway,
sure.
anyway,
Yeah.
it's probably wrong. We'll get told. So he was protected from the gunfire by his concrete pen, but the incendiary shells had like set the whole fucking thing on fire, and most of the other hippos were completely like just destroyed by it instantly. He was so little that he managed to partially escape through a hole in the side that had been blasted in this concrete pen of his, but he got stuck and he was getting burned. And there's at the time there were all these young boys who were not quite old enough to be part of like the Hitler's Youth side of things and actually serve, because a lot of those kids were like made to go and run around and, you know, take messages, haul ammo, stuff like that. These kids were too young for that, or something was like determined that they couldn't do it for whatever reason. They actually went and worked at the zoo and like went and pretty much just helped out, like cleaning up the pens after they got fucked up. And this group of like young boys found this baby hippo basically being burned alive, caught in a hole in the wall in this concrete. They managed to like sort of widen it a little bit, and he got out and he just jumped into this pool, and the steam that went up from his skin being so hot apparently was just like insane. They couldn't even see if he was okay anymore, but like they came back a day later and he was fine. He actually wasn't injured that badly at all, and he lived for a long time after that.
Yes.
Yay for him.
Thank God. I was like in the chair like, please don't let this thing die.
What happened to this baby hippo? So yeah, fucked up. But anyway, so from the 22nd of April of 1945 onward, the zoo had been constantly under artillery fire. The keepers had actually been forced to kill a lot of the more dangerous animal because they kept escaping from their pens being destroyed. But as the war went on and as the months passed and all the zoos getting completely fucked up, it was really like heavily hit. Many of the animals ended up being killed and eaten by both the Russian and the German forces. So the zoo director at the time basically said many of the edible animals which had fallen victim to the air raid ended up in the pot. Particularly tasty were the crocodile tails, cooked tender in big containers that tasted like fat chicken. The dead I know, right? The dead deer, buffalo, and antelopes provided hundreds of meals for man and beast alike, and later on, bear ham and bear sausage were a particular delicacy.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Right? It's so interesting to me that crocodiles are kind of like chicken because they're a white meat as well, I guess.
Have you not tasted crocodile?
I have not personally.
I have.
I have.
Yeah?
It does. It tastes like fish and chicken together.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds horrible. Chicken sounds good. The fish sounds bad.
Yeah, I know that's
kinda
not
like
your wheelhouse.
Frog's legs is kind of the same.
Oh,
really?
I never want to try frog's legs. There's got that and snails I have zero interest in.
Oh, I couldn't do a snail.
I love the snails. Fucking garlic butter.
I would just eat garlic butter on mushrooms and be much more happy.
We can also organise that for you as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't get eating of invertebrates a lot of the time because they look like just consuming mucus.
Speaking of mucus, I'm so into the Korean skincare line, which is a snail mucus.
Oh, I thought it was going to get a lot grosser. This is fine. Continue.
Yeah, it's like putting snot on my face, but it's
I don't
it's
like
absolutely
It's finding like the
fantastic.
cluck.
Yeah.
It is very witchy to be like, I'm gonna rub this snail mucus on my face and I'm going to look young.
Yeah, I'm very into it.
I like
Yeah.
it.
I have to ask my derm if that's something I can do, but I don't know if I could get past the consistency.
Yeah, the consistency is
A time.
yeah.
Hey, we've all used Cetaphil face wash.
That's
with
fine. I'm okay with that one. For those of you who don't know, interesting bit of trivia here. Cetaphil face wash is often used in porn shoots as fake cum because it has a very similar look and consistency.
Money shot.
Money shot.
Cha-ching.
Cha-ching. Porn is fake. Anyway.
Consume it ethically, thank you.
Thank you. So, either 91 or 96 animals survived out of that initial 3,700 to 16,000. Among them were 2 lion cubs, 2 hyenas, Siam, our lovely elephant, Knochi, our hippo baby, 10 baboons, a chimpanzee, and a black stork. So there was obviously more because that's not 96 animals, but apparently they were the important ones that everyone cares about because every article I read only mentioned them. So Saturn, they didn't find him straight away. Yeah.
Sneaky boy.
It's very sneaky. Because 3 fucking years later, British soldiers discover him just wandering the fuck around. No idea.
3 years.
3 years. 3
Oh,
fucking years.
fuck.
No idea what he'd been doing, where he was, what he'd eaten, which is why I bring up the bodies. But like no one knows where the fuck he was. But he was there and then he wasn't there anymore. So for 3 years, some people reckon that like someone maybe picked him up, took him in. He was small enough kind of at that point to do that. He was only a couple of years old. And apparently people did that all the fucking time in Berlin back in the day. It wasn't forbidden, so people just kept random fucking animals in their house, all kinds of weird ones. But we don't know what happened to him. We don't know where he went. He was then given to the Soviets in 1946. The Moscow Tourism Office that had the records as to why and how burnt down. So we also have no idea why
Of course.
they decided to give him to the Russians. We have no idea how they got him to Moscow. But this alligator is a world traveler. He's been more places than I fucking have at this point. So Saturn goes to Moscow. there's no alligators at that zoo, and people get really fucking into him, like insanely into this alligator. And because of his weird circumstances, and him coming from Germany, they started to give him the nickname Hitler.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. So not great. Later he gets called Saturn. So I don't know what he was called when he lived in Berlin, and I don't know if this was like a return to the name Saturn or why they picked the name Saturn. But he got called Saturn at some point and not Hitler anymore, which was great. But it doesn't end there. This alligator's life is storied and incredible. So in the 1950s, he gets given a mate. Her name is Shipka. She is a female alligator that, again, the states decided to give to Moscow as a gift. Don't know why they keep giving people fucking alligators. It's a weird thing to do, but okay. And they became mates. They actually like took to each other straight away. I think it's really sweet. There's some photos of them together, which is really cute.
Yes, please.
But Shipka was infertile, so they did
Oh.
not make any babies. She died. Don't know why. But apparently he mourned her so much that he just stopped eating for months from the distress. Like, he missed her intensely.
Oh, my heart's breaking.
Oh,
No.
it's so fucking sad.
Mourning animals make
Oh.
me so just blubbery.
I know. And it doesn't really get better for him because then I'll tell you that later. We'll move back to that because we've got a timeline here, and I apparently didn't put this in the right spot. But anyway, so moving on. We then have the 1970s. So this gator is around for a while. I have a lot to tell you. So in the 1970s, he basically tried to bite an inexperienced handler who wanted to feed him by hand because at the time, they just let school children stick broom handles in Saturn's mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, checks out.
Why not? Apparently he was like a really calm and chill gator, and Shipka was not. Shipka was a bitch. I watched a little documentary, and she like bit off the fingers of one of the veterinarians who take care of them. Saturn was lovely. She just wanted to go everyone that went in her cage. Like, they managed to get his finger back and sew it back onto him. But he was just still very grumpy about it, even when he's doing this documentary, like in the 2000s, early 2000s. He's like, she took my fucking finger. Just reminds me of Chubbs from Happy Gilmore.
Yeah. Yes.
So anyway, so this is like the one time that he actually was remotely violent towards humans, apparently, unless you're a dead body. We don't know about that. But there's a video of him being scrubbed down by a broom, and he looks so happy. He loved a massage, even among his keepers, because they recognize people, and they're actually very intelligent. They can tell, like, if 4 people enter a pen where one is, they can count and then tell that there's still one left behind. If they count that only 3 or 2 leave, they'll know that you're there. It's so interesting. But he remembered his favorite keepers, and he knew who he liked and he knew who he didn't like. And if he didn't like you, apparently he would just scuttle off and like not go anywhere near you and ignore you. But if he liked you, he'd come over for a little scrub and a pat.
My heart. It's like a cat.
Yeah, the big mouthy cats. So in the 1980s, he almost died again.
No.
So a concrete slab fell from the ceiling on top of him.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But he managed to, like, his head was in a little protective niche and he wasn't killed. But holy fucking shit. This is multiple attempts on his life. It's like the terrible Final Destination films. Just trying to take him out any way they can.
Not Saturn.
Not Saturn. The 90s roll around and a new aquarium is built for him because, I mean, the one he was living in is the one from Moscow in the 40s, so it's not going to be great no matter what.
Concrete. And only concrete.
But he stopped eating again for a couple months. He didn't like the new place. He was very grumpy about it. And then just as they got him to start eating again, a drunken visitor threw a fucking boulder at him and hit him in the head, which almost killed him. They had to keep him from dying. I know exactly. So they had to fight to keep him from dying for months. And then just as he was recovering from that, another group of tourists threw a bunch of glass bottles at him, which cut him the fuck up. And they had to put glass walls around him to protect him from these psychotic people throwing shit at alligators, defenseless animals.
I'm so mad. Stop it.
Oh, it's so annoying. And then worse. So in 1993, there was a constitutional crisis in Moscow, and basically, like, there were shitloads of tanks rolling through there all the time. And Saturn apparently cried out so much he was inconsolable because of the vibrations, and the zookeepers think that actually reminded him of the Battle of Berlin that he lived through all those years ago.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he was really distressed.
Oh, I hate this.
I know. Small aside, because this is funny and we're getting to the end here. So he has a neighbor, and I thought this was really interesting. So she is a female Siamese crocodile. And she was brought to Moscow 30 years before the 90s, so 60s, I think. I didn't do great on this part. I'm sorry. I got really excited about it and ignored all the timeline. So by the last king of Cambodia. And this crocodile, along with a bunch of other animals, were actually supposed to be cooked up as part of a dinner with the Soviet government. So either, like, they didn't know how to cook crocodile meat, or they just didn't want to eat it. One way or the other, the crocodile and a couple of other animals didn't get eaten. And so, like, the Soviets are like, what the fuck do we do with this crocodile? So they just decided to sort of, like, figure it out later. And there were apparently left behind were 2 Indian pythons, some terrapins, and this particular crocodile. But she had been transported and was completely frozen, so they thought that she was dead. Like, because once they defrosted her, her scales all fell off. Yeah, I didn't know that could happen. Yep. And they thought that she was dead, and they were, like, really upset because the zoo was like, all right, we'll come and take these animals. The other ones seemed to be okay, but they came to get this female Siamese crocodile, and they're like, oh, she's dead. She's lying on her back. Her scales have all fallen off. Poked her with a stick. Nothing happened. And then the director at the time crouched down to be like, oh, you poor thing. And then all of a sudden she went and snapped her mouth right next to his face. So she was fine. She's cool,
bitch.
but you cannot get in there with her. She is a fucking bitch, apparently. She will eat you. She has tried before with many people. Which I thought is very sweet that she and Siam, like, she and Saturn live next to each other, and he's very chill, and she's just a gun.
Yep.
So Saturn has since had a new mate. In 2005, another lady was brought for him, but they also never produced any offspring, unfortunately. He randomly decided to stop eating again once she died, but not for as long. He really loves his ladies. He gets very sad when they disappear.
Oh.
He has been sponsored by the Lacoste brand. You know, the alligator shirt
Oh
one?
my god, yeah.
So he's an international man because they're French.
Yes, they are.
Yes. Unfortunately, on the 22nd of May 2020, last year, at the age of either 83 or 84, they're not exactly sure of his exact hatching date, Saturn did pass away. He'd spent 70 years in Moscow, 13 of them in Berlin, and, like, in the wild, alligators in Mississippi apparently only lived for, like, 30 to 50 years. So he was fucking old. Like, he lived for a really goddamn long time. He may actually have been the world's oldest alligator. There is one other called Muja that they don't know the exact hatch date of. But, he's super, super old. He was beloved by the people that worked with him. And so there's a reason he's called Hitler's alligator. It's not just to do with the fact that they nicknamed him Hitler. So because of the way that the Berlin Zoo was set up back in the day, so apparently there were some menageries that Hitler, like, owned. Some of them were his, apparently. Don't know, not all of them. Some reports say that the alligator display did belong to him. Some of them dispute it and say, no, he actually never belonged to Hitler. He was not his personal pet. Others say, yes, he was. But because we know where he was at the zoo, like, the whole time he was in Berlin, he was never, like, lived at Hitler's house or anything like that, which is something that, like, a lot of people wrote into Moscow newspapers when he was moved over there. They're like, oh my god, Hitler's alligator is here. Go see him. But because the Berlin Zoo was a favorite location of Hitler's, they definitely came into contact with each other. Apparently, he did particularly like Saturn because he was quite a young hatchling at the time when Hitler first saw him. And he thought that was very cute, which is, again, really fucked up. But he was probably never a personal pet of Hitler's. Either way, for 80 fucking years, he has been called Hitler's alligator. And the Moscow Zoo, when Saturn did pass away, got quite grumpy about that. They released a big statement that was basically like, animals aren't involved in wars and politics. They have nothing to do with this shit. They're not political. They're just animals. Leave them alone. Please stop associating this poor fucking alligator with one of the worst people that's existed in the last 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
But you can actually still see him. He was stuffed.
Yes.
Taxidermied. Yes, he was. I have some great photos, which I will share with you both, of him alive and post. But he is now in the Charles Darwin's Museum. So the State Darwin Museum, it's called properly. But it's basically a museum that's dedicated to Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. And he looks really fucking weird, the way that they post him. It's cool, but it's weird. And just as a final little note, Berlin Zoo has been rebuilt. It now houses 20,000 animals, and that is Hitler's alligator.
Thank you. Yay. I love him.
He's so handsome.
I love you, Saturn. King. I love him.
I love him too. I got really into him when I learned about him. I was like, oh, he's so cute. I think it was learning that he mourned for his mate that really cemented me as being in love with this fucking crocodile alligator.
That got me good.
Yeah. But beautiful. The Berlin Zoo, just let me fucking talk about the Berlin Zoo.
I knew you would want to.
Because of the bombing, a lot of the huge, like massive cages and like concrete structures that the animals were housed in were no good. So they built they call them ha-ha walls. And it's basically like a ditch that the animals can't cross. But on either side of the ditch, you and the animals are on the same level.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so cool. There's no, cages. Obviously birds, that's what you think. But, and the bird menageries it's huge, it's spacious, it's fantastic. And they lead conservation in the world. In fact, they produce so many kiwi birds for New Zealand who are famously hard to get them to fucking mate and do things with because they are so stupid that they have had to send them back to New Zealand. They send all the kiwi chicks back to New Zealand.
Oh, that's very sweet.
They produce more kiwis than the Auckland Zoo.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That's so sweet. It's kiwi season. And then they send them all.
God, I love stupid animals that don't know how to continue their species.
Oh, so funny.
We're looking at you, pandas.
Oh, pandas are fine now.
Oh,
they've been taken off the endangered species list.
Oh, amazing.
Have they really?
Yes.
Mate.
Oh my
Excellent
God.
news.
And also all pandas outside of China are still owned by China.
Yes, I did know
that.
Which I think is great.
That is great.
It's very cool.
That's cool.
It's very, very cool.
That's cool.
So I have done animals at war. So leading on from World War II, I decided to do the things about mascots for certain battalions because even to this day, units and battalions have animal mascots because it's cool. And they do
why
that.
Not?
I was actually talking to one of my regulars at the bar. He used to be a US Marine.
Oh.
And they always get a dog mascot from the San Francisco Pound, and that dog travels with them everywhere and sleeps in their beds.
I love
so it's something that has come down from the wars and is still happening today.
That's really cool.
Wicked.
Yes. But so back in World War I, World War II, animals helped the war effort by providing transport, medical evacs. We all know about Simpson and his donkeys.
Yes.
Communication with like Pidgeys and messenger dogs. Search and rescue still happens today. Guard dogs, pest control, cats on ships, and of course morale. So yeah, they did a lot of things. They had all these camels and elephant trains, taking everything across the desert. Well, I'm going from cats to pigs.
Oh.
So
Oh.
Tirpitz the pig, he was the mascot. Oh, sorry, she was the mascot of the HMAS Glasgow during the First World War. The pig had originally been on the German cruiser SMS Dresden until Glasgow bombed the shit out of it, and it no longer could be a ship. So this pig managed to escape the Dresden and began to swim towards the Glasgow, where she was spotted by the crew.
Ugh.
The crew then commenced the hour-long rescue of
Oh.
the 280 kilo pig.
280 kilos.
She
Holy
was a
fucking
huge.
shit. That's
She was a
bigger than
huge sow.
Saturn.
It's a
Yeah.
big
That's
bitch.
bigger than a 3.5 meter long alligator who has
big.
armor, basically.
Yeah, pigs get really big because every time someone's like, yeah, we're getting a teacup pig, I'm like, no, you're getting
a regular pig because
pig.
teacup pigs don't exist.
No, you're getting a pig.
She kind of looked like a pug. Like she had rolls.
Did her
And she
forehead
had-
like roll
and-
forward?
I don't know. She had like big black spots on her too, which was kind of cute.
Oh,
Can I
love
admit
those
something
ones.
that's horrible and I know people are going to hate?
Yes, please do it.
I don't like pugs and I think that they shouldn't
okay.
exist.
They shouldn't be.
They should not be. I get really upset. I really like the squishy face doggies. All of them are
Yes.
very pretty. But also their lifespan is like 6 years long and it shouldn't be that short. Because they're fucked up from us breeding that squishy face in and it messes with their lungs and their necks and all sorts of shit. So I feel sad when I hear the word pug. That's all that happens for me.
Freaks me out. Their eyes can fall out.
Right?
If you squeeze them too hard, their eyes go.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. Anyway, this big old bitch. This
big old bitch. So one of the sailors nearly drowned in the process.
Oh my god.
The crew awarded Tirpitz a fake Iron Cross, which is like the German military honor for remaining at her station on the Dresden even after it sank. So Tirpitz was a mascot on the Glasgow for a number of years, but obviously you can't have a massive fucking pig on your battleship. So she was retired to like a naval school in the port of Portsmouth, where she lived out the rest of her days. But just a huge pig, and the crew's like, yeah, we'll just save this massive pig. Yeah, there we go. Now this one is, I go from like happy fat pig to like kind of a harrowing story about Judy, who was a pedigree pointer.
Oh no.
So
I'm worried.
On the HMS, I keep saying HAMS, like
Hams.
the Australian.
I do that too. Yeah.
It's not. The Grasshopper was attacked and sunk by enemy planes. Judy and her crewmates swam to safety on a desert island. After 2 days without food or water, Judy became kind of like erratic, and then she started snuffling around in the sand. And when she found what she was looking for, she started to dig, unearthing a freshwater spring.
Oh.
Holy shit. That's awesome.
Yeah, so they were rescued by a nearby Japanese tanker, and they were going to drop everybody off in, I think it's like near Sumatra, for their POW camp. So the Japanese soldiers were like, oh, we'll kill the dog when we get on land. Once they were on land, the commander of the POW camp, who had like grown fond of her, declared that she was also a POW. And
Oh my god.
this saved her life, and also has been the only animal POW in existence.
Oh, fuck.
Huh.
So, like when the prisoners would be beaten by their captors, she would like bark at the Japanese and like try to defend them. And the like other like it was like good for morale in the camp, because like people would share their rations with her. She was like very, very good at that. So she was reunited with her original owner who brought her on the ship. And she survived when the Japanese surrendered in 1945. She went to several POW camps with her number POW 81A.
Oh,
She also got bitten by an alligator, but that was okay.
What the fuck?
Mhm.
mate, it's all tying together.
Oh my
Mhm.
god.
So on her return to Britain, she was awarded the Dickin Medal in May of 1946, which is basically the Animal Victoria Cross.
Oh,
The citation reads, "For magnificent courage and endurance in Japanese prison camps, which helped maintain morale among her fellow prisoners and also saving many lives through her intelligence and watchfulness."
I'm about to be
Judy
crying to the club.
remained with Frank, her original owner, until her death in Tanzania in February 1960.
Oh.
I'm gonna cry.
Oh no. I'm just thinking about how my fucking rabbit would just eat me the first chance he got. He wouldn't give a
Oh,
shit.
So I just want to talk a little bit about the PDSA Dickens Medal.
Yeah.
So in 1917, amazing, like, woman, like, goddess, fantastic person, Maria Dickin saw that how animals in the East End of London where she was working had, no veterinary care. And she started basically like a mobile veterinary clinic that would come and treat animals in poorer suburbs for free as a charity. This charity still exists today, and they do provide free and low cost veterinary care. But she
awesome.
also started the Dickin Medal for the animals. It has it's also like, it can fit on their collar, and it says, "We also serve."
Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh.
The medal has been awarded 73 times since 1943. The recipients comprise of 36 dogs, 32 pigeons, 4 horses, and 1 cat.
Oh.
One cat.
Apart from the Dickin Medal, they also do, I think it's called like the Golden Medal, and it's for animals that don't like serve in war, but do, like, they save lives. So, like, there was this time a dog woke up everybody in his house because it was on fire and the smoke machine wasn't working. Like, the smoke
my God.
detector. Things like that.
Yeah.
Like saving lives and being, like, super cool. So that's the Dickens Medal. There was also another, I just had to, Brian the Alsatian,
Yeah.
which is a German Shepherd.
Brian.
That was after the PR rebrand of, of that. His name was Brian, and his citation reads, "This patrol dog was attached to a parachute battalion of the 13th Battalion Airborne Division. He landed in Normandy with them, and having done the requisite number of jumps, he had become a fully qualified paratrooper." So I had a look at what requisite number of jumps, and it could be like 30 to 40, over 30 to 40 jumps.
Holy fucking shit.
Oh my god.
So I just like that. Another, like, fantastic things that puppers did in the war was work with the rescue squad, finding people in rubble after being bombed in buildings. In 1945, Beauty, who is a wide-haired terrier, Irma, Jet, and Rip, who are all mongrels.
Of course, the best
They were
kind of dog.
strays that were trained to locate buried air raid victims. All got the little Dickens Medal, and Jet especially. On one occasion, Jet located a woman buried in the debris of a bombed-out hotel and refused to move for 12 hours until rescuers reached her.
Oh,
Oh my god.
I love it.
So good. Okay, this one is great. This one is Ferdy, the pygmy flying phalanger,
Huh? What?
which
Excuse
is
me?
basically what a sugar glider was called back in the day.
Oh
my god. Holy shit.
That's cute.
So, but it's a pygmy, so it's like a small.
Yeah. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Kind of like, the size, if it was all like outstretched in flight, it would be like a serviette.
Yeah. It's like palm-sized, right? They're
Yeah,
like tiny,
yeah.
like a gerbil.
So Ferdy was the mascot for the Australian RAF Spitfire Squadron, he saw active service during World War II. I think maybe they took him up in the plane. I don't know. After a long day of work, he enjoyed kicking back with his fellow airmen and having a tablespoon of beer.
Of course
Oh my
he.
Like most military animals, Ferdy loved the taste of alcohol. But one night, after too many tablespoons
Oh no.
affected his flying skills, and Ferdy accidentally fell into a glass of beer.
Oh no.
Oh, he didn't.
Despite being promptly rescued, Ferdy never drank again.
Oh thank God. Oh.
Oh fuck, that's funny.
So this particular Spitfire squadron were massive animal lovers because they had, apart from Ferdy, 15 dogs, a cat, another possum, and a rooster.
The most fucking Australian thing ever, though, isn't it?
Just collect animals. Just bring them all.
Yeah, and
Fuck
just
it.
give them beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you do?
Yeah. So there was, and so the ones that, of course, I haven't mentioned in my list. I actually haven't mentioned any horses because the war horse is kind of its own thing, and I do intend on maybe doing that a different time. But
Yes, please.
Hell yeah.
there are many horses who deserve the Dickens Medal. But another one that we need to talk about is Joe the Pigeon.
Joe the Pigeon.
Commonly known as G.I. Joe the Pigeon.
No way.
Yes. Yes. Also, he is the first American animal and the first non-British animal to be awarded the Dickens Medal.
Ooh.
Oh really?
Yep. So
This is like Chicken Run.
it is like Chicken Run,
Gibson
but like
character.
with actual
Yeah.
with guns. So in World War II, Germany was in Italy, loving it, having a great time in this little medieval 14th century town of Calvavice. So intelligence, we all knew that the Germans were there. We were into it. We were going to go and fight them. So the British Infantry Division were poised to attack. So they were on the ground, ready to go and invade the town. And then a pre-organized US airstrike was going to come and bomb the shit out of the town and kill all the Germans.
Mm-hmm.
And then the British would kill everybody, who ran from the place. Good times. So the Brits rocked up. Fuck, where are the Germans? Oh, they left. They just surrendered this city, and the airstrike's coming in 10 minutes.
Huh.
So they tried to radio the airfield, and there was no communication that got through. All lines were down. So they had 1,000 British troops in this medieval town, plus whatever citizens were still there,
Oh fuck.
with a whole US bombing fleet on the way.
Oh great.
So a message was strapped to Joe, who flew 20 miles in 20 minutes to the airfield,
Holy shit.
reaching the bombers before they were taxiing off with about 5 minutes to spare. The bombing run was then cancelled, and saving the lives of 1,000 British troops plus whatever civilians were in that town.
I love how
you know,
casually it's just like plus those people, I guess.
Plus those people, plus the 14th century town you were just going to bomb?
Yeah, right.
Like, fuck.
His little wings.
His
So
little
tiny.
wings,
Oh my God.
so big. So Joe retired after the war to the Detroit Zoological Gardens until he died in 1961 at the age of 18.
There's something about
my
the
God, old
like
man.
idea of animals retiring that I just find so sweet.
Because it's doing a human thing. Retiring is a human thing.
And also because I don't ever think I'm going to be able to retire the way
Oh,
that
no.
we're going.
Retiring? No, not a word in my vocabulary. Thank you.
We don't do that.
Okay, now we go to a Polish mascot,
Ooh.
Wojciech the bear.
Oh, I
Oh
was
my
waiting
God.
for this.
Bear. Yes. Yes.
Bear. He was the pet mascot of the 22nd Transport Artillery Supply Company in the Polish Corps during the Second World War. So he is a Syrian brown bear who was adopted as a cub by Polish troops as they passed through the Middle East. Like, I think they were on their way to Iran, and they were like, bear. Great. They called him Wojciech, which means little one, and he was fed on milk from empty vodka bottles. as every Polish baby is. But little one grew over to 6 feet tall and weighed about 113 kilos.
Big old one. Big one.
Baby.
Big baby. He was very tame and comfortable in human company. He liked wrestling and play fighting with the men. And eventually he was even taught how to salute.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
Oh.
So in 1943, the unit were posted in Italy. Wojciech had to be enlisted so he could accompany them because they were like, it's a fucking bear. It's a fucking bear. It's not a cat. We could just be fine with that, but it's a bear.
Mm-hmm. That's what he is.
So he was even given a service number and the rank of private.
Oh my God. So good.
And what he used to do was he used to carry heavy artillery shells and ammunition to and from the front.
Yeah.
The front line. Did. So even so, like a lot of the Polish, not just the artillery corps, a lot of like the Polish like insignias and things like that for their infantry are of this bear carrying bombs. Amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah. So he used to carry these huge like fucking torpedo shells.
I love that so much. Like a saddlebag?
Over to the guns. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
He had a little saddle thing. It was cute. So eventually he travelled to Scotland and found his home in the Edinburgh Zoo until his death in 1963.
That's so cool.
Bless him. I do love that one in particular. Love the bear.
Just bear. Pick him up. Let's take Oh my God. That one was particularly good.
So I am going to end tonight's podcast
segment.
Well, my part of the podcast.
Yes.
With my favorite animal ever. And I knew about this before I did my research. So a stretcher bearer, a Kiwi stretcher bearer called Stuart Little, which is fantastic.
I hate that mouse.
He's voiced by Marty McFly. What's his name?
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that mouse. Sorry, continue.
So anyway, Stuart Little, a Kiwi stretcher bearer, was serving at Gallipoli when he saw a turtle or tortoise run over by a French gun carriage, and he was like, fuck! So he went over and picked it up thinking it was going to be squashed, and it wasn't. She did lose a few toes and had a bit of a dent in her shell. But otherwise she was fine. She was a female Greek tortoise.
Oh.
And Stuart Little called her Torty.
Oh my God.
Imaginative.
She lived in the trenches with him and his, they fed her lettuce after finding out what turtles eat, because like they kind of hadn't seen a big one like this. And then what happened was the Gallipoli campaign was a disaster, and they were retreating and they couldn't bring any animals back with them. So what happened was, this was kind of okay because Torty had gone into hibernation. So he just put her in his rucksack and smuggled her aboard his ship, bringing her back to New Zealand.
Oh my God.
Torty is the only living survivor of the First World War.
What
She's
the
still alive.
fuck? Of course.
Torty and Torty's children have their care shared between 4 of Stuart Little's great-grandchildren.
That is so cool.
I love it. That's really nice.
Yeah. She also had a bit of probably more of a time in New Zealand than she did in Gallipoli. She was sold to a circus.
Mhm.
She was stolen and sold to a circus.
I was going to say, how come she's with Stuart Little's relatives then? Okay.
Because the local policeman who knew Torty went to the circus with his family and was like, "That's our fucking turtle. Give it back."
Tortoise, not turtle.
Tortoise. Tortoise.
Tortoise.
Tortoise. She almost died when she decided to like go into a big pile of leaves that they were burning at the time.
No.
She's very deceptively quick.
They are. They want to be. They'll fucking zip off.
And one time she found her way onto the beach and almost like died of dehydration. Like, you know, she's just so quick. Anyway, so Torty lives. She is the Gallipoli turtle, and yeah, I had a great time.
I really appreciated that. Thank you.
That's awesome. You know something cool I learned about turtles and tortoise not long ago?
Mm-hmm.
They can feel their shell.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes, they can.
Doesn't that defeat the point of having the shell?
It's essentially a giant rib cage. So it's like made, like there are nerve endings in it. They can feel it. So when she got like bonked with her dent, like she felt that. Because when you see like photos and videos of turtles and tortoise and such, and they're like getting scrubbed with a brush, and if they move their butt back and forth, they like it. They can feel it.
That's really cute.
One of my favorite videos is like this Japanese lady like has like a big scrubby brush, like what you do with your big pans in.
Yeah.
And she's like kneeling down at the water, and she starts brushy on a turtle, and then like 60 turtles come out of the water for brushy brush.
They love it.
They know. They know.
Oh, that's fucking adorable.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm a big fan of that.
Thank you, Lacey.
Thank you,
You're
Lacey.
lovely.
That was great. And now Tay's going to destroy us all emotionally.
Yes. So yeah, there's a reason I went last. So if you are a little queasy, but then again, what are you doing listening to this podcast if you're a little bit queasy? No, I will give you all a huge disclaimer warning right now. There is going to be some gore. There is going to be some cruelty. There is going to be a bad time in my segment. So click off now if you want. I won't blame you, but stick around and I might just love you a little bit more. So let's indulge, shall we?
Fuck, all those are triggers for me, and I have to sit here through this.
If you mute, I won't blame you.
You knew what you were getting into.
Oh, fuck, did I? Okay.
So as a desperately nostalgic millennial, I love old toys. I'm obsessed with shit from my childhood. It sends me from 0 to 100. And I was looking at old baby photos the other day with my partner, and I just lost my mind over all of the toys that we had. Like there was a picture of Tim with like some dinosaur toys, and then I saw a picture of me with like there was like a sky dancer on the back on the coffee table behind me, and I was like, fucking A, I love that shit. And then as I chose my segment today, I remembered a toy I had and several of my friends had, and I wonder if either of you had it, or even someone at home may have had it. Now stay with me, this all has a purpose. This toy was called a Little Lost Magic Monkey.
No.
Essentially it's a soft baby chimpanzee that comes with a baby's dummy and a banana, and its mouth is open and you can feed it.
Was it soft?
Little Lost Magic Monkey.
I'm gonna Google a picture of it, but again, I'm gonna. Why do I keep admitting this stuff on the podcast? And why have I done it twice today? I don't like primates or monkeys of any kind because I don't like people.
Okay.
And
I remember other
similar.
people having this toy.
Yeah, I feel like this was definitely a toy that if you didn't have one, someone you knew had it. The 90s, and this is where I lead into the 90s. Fucking loved apes, dude. Chimpanzees were fucking everywhere. They were in ads. They were in
I
movies.
remember this thing.
Yeah.
I remember the diaper.
Yep.
Yeah.
The baby bib. It comes swaddled in a blanket. There's a bunch of them. It took me a hot minute to figure out what they're actually called. I had to Google several different versions of the phrase soft toy, chimp toy 90s until I found it. And it's called either Little Lost Monkey or Little Lost Magic Monkey.
I love the
that-
serotonin dose that you get when you finally figure out how to Google
Yes.
search the thing you're trying to find. You're like,
Right. So essentially, these toys are cute as shit. Real chimps, not so much. So humans share 98% of our DNA with chimpanzees.
we do.
That is fucking terrifying. They are terrifying. I'm sorry, but the only chimp I would ever cuddle would be a little lost magic monkey, because at the end of the day, no. And
They're
you are all
so
going to
strong.
understand why. Yeah,
They're
you are
so-
going to understand why at the end of this fucking segment. So let me all tell you the story of Travis the chimpanzee.
Oh, I am so excited to hear you tell this. I love this story. I've been obsessed with it ever since I first heard the voice recording.
Yes. So this was like my first like fucked up internet thing that I deep dove in when I was like quite young.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of fun with it. And now we're going to revisit it today.
Nope.
But essentially, in 1995, Sandy Harold received a call from a friend named Connie Casey to let her know that her baby had arrived and it was a healthy baby boy. So Sandy flew to Missouri to meet her new son. She arrived at Connie's sanctuary and was presented with a bundle of blankets, and inside was a tiny baby chimpanzee who she named Travis.
What a weird name to give to a fucking chimpanzee.
Yeah, she named him after her favorite musician, which I think was Travis Tritt, who I have no idea who it was. Didn't bother to listen to the music because I was too busy focused on all of the good details. She paid $50,000 cash for Travis.
Oh my god.
And a few days later, they both boarded a plane back to Stamford, Connecticut, which was home. Now, for those playing at home, Connie Casey features in Louis Theroux's Dangerous Pets documentary, which you should all watch as soon as you finish listening to this episode. He does interview her. She has like 10 chimpanzees at her sanctuary now, and she does take on like mature chimpanzees that like no one wants to care for anymore because they get fucked up once they get older. And he does mention Travis to her, and she goes like very quiet, and she's like, oh no, like I knew him, I knew his mother, but like she knew more than his mother. She knew his mother and his father. His father's name was Coco and his mother's name was Susie, and she had both of them, so like anyway. Yeah, spill the tea.
Yeah, right? That's some shame.
Yeah. Anyway, that documentary also features one Joe Exotic before Tiger King was released. So I highly recommend watching this after watching Tiger King, because when we knew all of the details from Tiger King, and then you go back and watch it again, it's really weird because you know all of the dodgy shit he's doing, and he's trying to like make himself out like he's a good guy. Like my tiger sanctuary is non for profit, and this, and this, and it's like, no, it is for profit. You sell the baby tigers and to fund the cocaine addiction that you've given your two weird husbands. Anyway, but that's neither here nor there, and we're not talking about Joe Exotic today. We're talking about Travis.
We need to talk about Joe Exotic sometime.
Let's do a Tiger King special. Why the fuck not?
Fuck yeah.
So Sandy and her husband Jerry renovated their entire house to accommodate for Travis. They caged an entire room for him, which led to a large outdoor enclosure where he could free roam. They installed a metal door on their bedroom, which created like a suite of rooms that he couldn't access. Though he did have full reign of the house when they were home. It was like his house as well, basically. He had tire swings and ropes like everywhere to play with. And he had his own bed in Sandy and Jerry's room, but he slept in their bed with them most nights. Basically, Travis was treated like a human child. Like, he wore outfits. He helped with chores. Like, he fed and brushed the horses. He could brush his own teeth. He could use keys to open doors. Like, that fucked me up. So, he can open a door with a key.
I can't even do that shit most of the time.
Yeah, if I've had a couple of drinks, then it's all over. My mind, this is just me as a person, but my mind keeps sticking on the fact that like he slept in their bed. So you know, like when you watch, I don't have children, obviously. I'm very happy about that, but like. So I was watching a horror movie the other day, and there's a scene where the kid freaks out, has a nightmare, and the parents are like, as every parent is in a horror movie when this situation happens, we're about to have sex, and the kid ruined it by coming in. So, like, did they have, like, days where they were getting frisky, and then she's like, not in front of Travis? And they look over and the chin's like standing in the corner, staring at them.
Dude, that's what I thought. I have no idea because like, so it's weird because like this. Okay, so Jerry is Sandy's third husband.
Okay.
She had 2 other husbands before, and she had a daughter,
Oh.
who tragically died in a car accident.
Oh.
She had her infant granddaughter in the car with her, but the baby was fine.
Oh my God.
Her daughter, whose name was Susie, was ejected from the car,
Oh.
which is an awful thing to think of. Which I think is why she like became really obsessed with like treating Travis like a child because she'd lost her daughter.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
but they were like at the time of like the end of this story happening, Sandy was like between her 60 and 70. So I think at the time when they got Travis, she was like, I think in her 50s.
Okay.
So like surely they still be like boning down, right? I mean, like
I
50 isn't
unfortunately have been made aware that my 80-year-old grandparents still get it on. So look,
Good
there's
on
no
'em.
time frame for when this ends. They definitely could have been boning.
Fucking A. Good on him. I hope I am still
Getting
some loving.
risking hip displacements.
Yeah. Mate, there's a reason we invest in all the bells and whistles when we get that old. It's fine.
Exactly. Get a sex swing. It's good for you.
Ooh. Anyway.
What?
So besides using the fucking keys to open the door, he also could ride a bike and
Oh.
the ride-on lawnmower.
Like a tricycle? Oh, like a ride on lawnmower. What the fuck?
No, a bike. A bike.
Oh, I'm just thinking
Yeah.
like the fucking Jigsaw from Saw. Like,
Essentially, like, because Jerry like loved teaching him how to do things. So he taught him like how to, like ride a bike and stuff. And like, Travis grew up at the time when Sandy's grandkids were born. So like they
had
kind of
so much kid shit around.
Yeah, so they like had toys and like the grandkids would play with Travis. It was like it's really fucked up. Like I'm sorry, it fucks me up so bad. It's so scary.
It's so scary.
But he also like loved baseball and he loved watching sports on television. And he would eat at the table for meals with the family. And here are some of his favorite foods because I found an article. I wasn't going to do too much research because I already knew a lot about this story. And then I found an article that supposedly listed his favorite foods and I lost my mind. And I've got like a little list here and it's really fun. So he loved oatmeal for breakfast, filet mignon, he's fancy, lobster tails, nerds lollies, Lindt chocolate.
Oh yes, the crack for children.
Yeah. Ice cream. Dudes, he loved ice cream. Like he memorized the time and day that the ice cream truck rolls around en route to their house. So he would like go and get the ice cream. Like he would hear the bell. He knew.
I've yet to meet an animal that doesn't like ice cream.
Oh, dude. Right?
My dad buys an ice cream cone from the ice cream man just for the dog.
Oh, that's really pure.
It's very sweet. That dog's gonna fucking die real young at this rate.
It's gonna die so happy. My cat Pluto, when he was still with us, bless his little weird gremlin soul, loved ice cream, and Mum would eat it most nights after dinner, and then she would like leave like half a teaspoon or half a spoonful melted in the bottom of the bowl and give it to him. Yep. And then she would complain that he would like annoy her at dinner time and like try and get his paws in the bowl. And I'm like, because you feed him ice cream every night.
Yes, this behavior that you've encouraged.
I know.
It's happening. What a surprise.
He was a fucking brat. I was no better though. I used to feed him all the time, and then he would like I would sit on the floor at like a coffee table to eat my dinner most nights, and he would crawl into my lap up the front of my shirt and like try and put his feet like in my bowl, and I'm like, I hate this. But I have no one to blame but myself, so it's fine. Anyway, but isn't it the fact that he memorized the ice cream?
Oh, they're so intelligent. Like they're so clever. This is the thing is they're tool using. Like they're very, very smart. They have wars. They commit rape. They are very human. Chimpanzees are extremely intelligent creatures.
Yo, that video of the chimpanzee with the frog still fucks me up. No, please. Don't Google it at home, or do if you want to, but don't do it. Anyway, so also when he was old enough, and I have a bunch of like question marks and exclamation marks here because I'm like, this is buck wild. Jerry would share a glass of wine with Travis at dinner.
That's so.
And they would both cheers each other before drinking from stemmed wine glasses.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's fucking.
Yeah.
That's fucking
So the town of Stanford where they all lived loved Travis. He was famous. Sandy would drive around town in her Corvette with Travis in the passenger side, and they would wave at people as they passed. Like literally everyone knew him. The police knew him, the fire station knew him. Sandy and Jerry owned a tow truck company, and Travis would like ride around in their truck most days, and he was like the face of their brand. So like there is multiple pictures of him with like police officers and like other people of note, and he's just like hanging from them and they're all smiling. Like literally everyone knew who he was. He was featured in several commercials for Pepsi and like Old Navy, the clothing brand. He's also a Maury Povich. Wow. Yeah. So yeah, super famous. Everyone loved him. Travis was number one to these people. So in 2003, Travis is around 8 years old at this point. He's reached what Animal Planet calls sexual maturity, which is essentially that age where Hollywood like stops hiring chimps as actors. Like they're too rowdy, they're too aggressive, and they're too unpredictable. They're now they change from what Louis Theroux called a tiny hairy toddler to an actual wild animal. Like the switch is pretty fucked. Anyway, so 2003, Sandy and Jerry are driving through Stanford with Travis in the car. It's a crisp October day and the windows are down. Someone threw a bottle at the car and it flew through the open window, and it must have hit Travis or it hit someone. Anyway, Travis is having fucking none of it. He unbuckles his car seat and opens the car door and charges down the street. Like, he didn't know who threw the bottle, but he was just pissed and he wanted everyone to know it. The New York article that I read about the incident noted that he wore an adult diaper at the time. And I can just imagine a chimpanzee loose at this intersection screaming and charging people, and I would just die.
So
my heart would stop and I would expire. At this hairy little man, like Danny DeVito looking ass in a fucking diaper. Like I would just die. I'd will myself to die.
Horrendous.
So people seemed to love this incident happening. They were like, this isn't scary. Let's fucking watch. So everyone just like gathered in a huge crowd. No one could catch Travis. Too zippy, too fast. He's fast as fuck, boy. He's literally like hooting and cheering and charging at people like he's loving it. The police lured him back to the car with cookies and ice cream several times, but every time he got to the car, he would run away again. Because he thought it was a game. And this went on for like 2 hours. And he only went back to the car once he'd gotten tired, and he put himself in his car seat and buckled himself in. So he's a brat, basically. Yep. No charges were pressed, but Travis was grounded the next day. So this incident led to a law that would prevent a private owner from keeping a primate over 50 pounds. But the heralds weren't reprimanded, as any action would lead to, quote, the likely unwinnable battle to take custody of a local celebrity. Which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
From where the rest of the story is going. But animal control did contact Sandy and pretty much said, like, hey, Travis is a big boy now. He's dangerous. Like, you gotta put him in a sanctuary dog. Like, he's gonna live for like 60 to 70 years. Like, you're old as fuck already.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, whatever. And she just shrugged it off, like, he's my baby, he's not hurting anyone, blah blah blah, it's fine.
This fucking woman.
Yeah, so one mature chimpanzee has the strength of 5 adult humans.
Mm-hmm.
It's truly fucked. Like,
that's
the
so
amount
dangerous.
the amount of strength that's in a primate is so scary to me. And just to note here, I keep almost saying primape, the Pokemon, and I was doing my notes and I kept like almost typing it and saying it, and I was trying to explain to Tim, and he thought I was really funny, and
He would be correct.
Yes. So Connie Casey, the chimpanzee dealer, pretty much, she contacted Sandy 2 years prior to this incident. So in 2001, she gave Sandy a call. This is when Travis hadn't like reached puberty yet, but informed her that Travis's mother had been shot.
Oh.
Basically, she and Coco and another chimp had escaped the sanctuary that Casey owned. They had trapped a group of teens in their car as they were coming home, and they were like rocking and smacking the vehicle. Basically, one of the teens, the one who's driving, Jason Coates, managed to escape and run into his house to get a shotgun. He fired 3 rounds into Susie, and he was charged with property damage and animal abuse. Went to jail for a month.
What the fuck?
Jason still stands by the fact that he thought his life and his friends' lives were in danger,
It
and it was a
was.
dangerous animal.
It was. They do kill
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, exactly. So by the time he had gotten in the house to get his gun, Connie Casey and some other people had like arrived to like try and trank the chimps, but like there was one alleged like account that like they'd already tranked Susie and she was like just fine, chilling, having a grand old time, high as a kite on the grass. But like I feel like he still wouldn't, if she was subdued, he wouldn't shoot her. Like if he
No.
was like,
I mean, I don't know. Some people are fucked up, but maybe.
Also, America is cooked because it's
Yeah.
like a 17-year-old just had a fucking shotgun, dog.
Yeah, right.
That's fucked.
There's a documentary that I wouldn't say it's great. It's very interesting. It's one of those like reenactment ones, so you know from the start that it's going to be But it's a documentary about animals attacking people, and it's one of the stories is about a guy that goes to South Africa and goes on a tour with like another tourist, and then like a guy who's his friend who is South African. It's just like, I'll show you around, I'll take you on a tour. And they don't realize that this troop of chimps have gotten out. And
shit.
It attacks them, and they murder. Like, I think it's just one chimpanzee. It's the main male troop leader. Murders the South African gentleman. And then the one of the guys has like his hand fucking eaten and all sorts of crazy shit. Like, they are very dangerous. He 100% was in danger. They all were in danger. There's 3 of them. So if we're looking at like adult strength of chimps versus adult strength of teenagers, like I just don't think people should have these animals. I think that's wrong. But okay. Anyway.
It's fucked. Anyway, agreed, 100%. So essentially, like, the evidence is clear. No one should have a chimpanzee as a pet, right?
Right.
But in case I haven't convinced you or anyone else at home yet, let's keep going. So poor Jerry dies in 2005, leaving Sandy and Travis alone. It was very sad. So when he died, Travis did like mourn. Like Sandy would come home from the hospital and she would smell like Jerry. So Travis would like come and like want to like her cardigan, like he would like take off her cardigan and like carry it around and smell it. And like she would put him on the phone to Jerry and stuff and he would just cry. Like it's so sad. Like at the end of the day, he's a terrifying animal, but he is just an animal. I don't think he's at fault.
No, he should never have been in the situation that she put him in. Well, she and multiple other people. Yeah. But very much her fault.
100%. But it was really heartbreaking to just the fact that, like, yeah, it's an intelligent animal. It's going to mourn. It's fucked up. But essentially, yeah. So once all of this is said and done, like, and Jerry said to her before he died, you need to put Travis in a sanctuary. It's not, and like, it's too much work for just you. Because he did a lot of, like, looking after Travis as well. Like, he was pretty active in his care. And she was like, no, it'll be fine. It wasn't, spoiler alert. So essentially Sandy like kind of withdraws from the rest of her family. Like her grandkids were living interstate at this point after like obviously their mother's death, but she just kind of withdrew from all of them. But she did keep one friend close, and this friend's name was Charla Nash. So Charla was an employee of Sandy who had moved into Sandy's daughter Susie's loft apartment after her death. So this is all around after Jerry dies. Charla and her daughter move in to a property owned by Sandy, basically. And Sandy's like, hey, I'll let you live there rent free in exchange for you working for me. That kind of like became a bit blurred because what was supposed to be just bookkeeping and stuff for the tow truck company turned into like her looking after Travis and babysitting him and running errands for Sandy and just kind of being...
That's what happens with small businesses.
100%. Like low-key just doing more than what was expected of her, which is shit. Anyway, in her grief, Sandy became a bit of a hoarder, and she filled the house with stuff she bought, mainly like thousands of dollars worth of clothing, and so it kind of like filled the house to the point where she had to like pretty much move her and Travis only into like 2 or 3 rooms of this like giant house. So anyway, at this point, Travis is 14. Almost double the age. No, he is, because he's double the age of when they reach sexual maturity. So he's 7 is around the time that they hit that. He's now well over that. He's 14. He's 5 feet tall, and he's considered morbidly obese for a chimpanzee.
Oh shit.
So essentially, according to an article I read, his hairline had receded and he was grey and wrinkled.
Oh.
And he spent most of his time watching TV, playing on the computer, and eating chips. So essentially, he and I have the same schedule. But, and I've seen pictures of him. Homeboy got real fat. Obviously, on a diet of filet mignon, lobster, and oatmeal, he is going to get quite large.
So this animal is just not being taken care of properly.
No.
At all.
He's spoiled and treated like a little child, and even a human child shouldn't be fed what he's been fed.
Oh no.
Oh
my god, he is fat.
Yeah. So I got really obsessed with what he ate. So he used to like get also when he got older, he used to like putting steam fresh packs of veggies in the microwave and eating them. Like he knew how to like set the microwave timer and like get his steamed veggies out, and the popsicles in the freezer were labeled R for red and F for fudge. It's just so fucking fascinating and really funny to me that he just really liked steam fresh veggies. I don't know, it's really silly. But anyway, so in 2009, so 4 years after Jerry has passed, 6 years after the first incident, and 4 years after Charla and her daughter have kind of like moved in with Sandy, basically. Sandy, so this is February 14th, this is Valentine's Day, and Sandy has taken Charla to get her hair done. Quote, in case 2 eligible bachelors come along and see us and try and sweep us off our feet. So her long blonde hair that Travis knows well has been cut and coloured. Sandy returned home to Travis, who the whole day he had been irritable and miserable and just being a brat. He didn't want to colour in, he didn't want to watch any of the 3 televisions they had in the house, and he wouldn't eat anything. So Sandy that morning had put a Xanax in his tea to mellow him out.
So many fucking things wrong with that.
Yeah, so I don't know who here is into like chemistry, but that can cause the opposite effect.
Yep.
I.e. extreme rage and hallucinations. So this is going to work out well.
So she's done it before.
Yeah, so this is a thing she does. So Travis, when she got home, Travis was being a brat. He ended up pinching the car keys and he fled the house, presumably to take a joyride in the Corvette, which he considered his own. He loved that car. So he's out of the house. He's taken off. Sandy calls Charla in a panic. Basically like, Travis has gotten out. I can't get him in the house. Oh my God. Sandy claims that Charla volunteered to come help her. Charla insists she was asked.
I'm going to believe Charla.
I'm going to believe Charla as well. Either way, Charla arrives to help round up Travis. She's known this chimp for years. She's babysat him. She's played with him. She's had dinner with him. She knows how to calm him down. She brought one of his toys, which is like a red Elmo plushie. Anyway, she comes in, she jumps out of her car. She calls for Travis to come inside, and Travis attacks her. Okay. So Travis beats her, he bites her, and he rips at her body. He yanks and he pulls with the strength of 5 adult humans. So Sandy hears and sees all of this happening, runs from the house, and stabs Travis in the back with a kitchen knife like 3 or 4 times.
Holy fucking shit, man.
This only obviously sends him into a further frenzy. He's been fucking stabbed.
Right.
But apparently he had looked at Sandy like she had betrayed him. Quote, she said that he looked at her as if to say, "Why are you doing this, Mum?" And then his attack on Charla only increased in passion. So Sandy just fucking legs it. She runs and locks herself in her car and calls the police. Now, this 911 call that Laura had also mentioned earlier is on YouTube.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, it is
It's
also
sampled in songs.
Yeah, it's sampled in the Suicide Silence song, And Then She Bled, which is where the first breadcrumb on a trail of internet trauma that I followed many years ago. I believe the version on the song is like a recreation. So if you want to stomach something a little more mild, maybe listen to the song. I don't know. Essentially, Sandy calls 911 and she just starts screaming down the line. She's begging, repeatedly just crying, he's eating her, please come, bring a gun. My chimp is killing my friend, he's eating her face. Police arrive. Amongst them is Officer Chiafari, who first thought Charla was just a mess of bloodied clothing on the ground.
Oh my God.
He realized instantly that, quote, it was a human being all ripped apart. Officer Chiafari blocked Travis from Charla's body with his car, as did another officer, because 2 officers showed up essentially, and they parked like either car on either side of her so that she was blocked. And the chimp basically it snatched one of the rearview mirrors off with like it was nothing. I think the officer described it like butter, like it just like swiped it. And Sandy's still in the car like screaming, and basically it kind of all comes to a head, and Travis just walks very calmly around the side of the car to Officer Chiafari's like car door and just opens it, because it's quote that he realized as the chimp was about to open it, fuck, my door isn't locked. And he described Travis as blood soaked, and he just stared at him. And he eventually there was like a couple of seconds of brevity where they just looked at each other, and then Officer Chiafari pulled his gun and shot Travis 4 times. The chimpanzee screamed and fled into the house, where he died in his room.
Yeah.
Officer Chiafari and paramedics approached Charla's body. Quote, she had no face and blood was pulsating out. He hoped she wasn't alive, or at least passed out, but Charla reached out to him with her torn fingerless hand and tried to grab his leg, and she was alive.
So fucked up that she's still conscious that whole fucking time.
So Charla was rushed to hospital, where she spent 72 hours in surgery with 4 teams of surgeons working to save her.
Jesus Christ.
And she spent 15 months in recovery, receiving repeat surgeries. So Travis ripped off her jaw, her nose, her eyelids, essentially her whole face. Her hands had to be removed because he had fully just torn one of them off. She lost a large part of her scalp and received heavy tissue damage to her brain, and they couldn't save her vision. She went blind. Charla received experimental face and hand transplants, which was pretty cool. The hands were successful, but she did contract pneumonia, and her new hands became infected. They had to remove them. She revealed her new face a year later on the Oprah Winfrey show. That's a super confronting video, because it's only a year after all of this happened. Essentially, now the articles were not very kind in how they explained how she looked, but essentially she was just her face was very much just a pink mass, I think is the kindest way to put it. There was not much
features.
There was it was a featureless pink mass. But she survived, and she said she doesn't remember anything about what happened.
Oh,
really?
God.
I didn't know that.
Yep, so she doesn't remember the attack. And at the time of her first interview, she didn't feel any pain from the injuries that she had, any lasting or residual pain from the event, which I think is fucking choice.
So lucky.
Right?
So lucky, because nerves are shit.
I wonder if it stayed that way.
Yeah, that's what I wonder too. So don't go looking for the before photos, but they are out there.
Oh yeah, that's one of the first things that pops up when you Google Travis the Chimp. So just be careful if that's not something you want to see.
Yeah. Good news though. New face as of like 9 years ago. Like
Nice.
she looks amazing.
She does.
Yeah.
She looks amazing, especially
Yeah.
like when you look at the comparison.
Yeah, of before, during, and after. Like it's
Mhm.
insane. She sued Sandy for like 50 mil.
Mhm.
Didn't get 50 mil, but I think at the end she got like 10 or 17 mil.
That's better
She got
than
some
nothing.
money
Yeah.
because her medical bills were astronomical. Like
No shit. She lives in
America.
America.
Yeah. Little bit more of our medical history just as we keep going. We're almost there. Our sweet officer Chiafari had received no compensation for his therapy because he was fucked up from this. He was
Mhm.
Of
so
course he
fucked up.
was.
So
Mhm.
he said he couldn't wear the color red
Oh.
because it triggered him. He couldn't go to the shopping center because anytime he saw a woman, he would just imagine her without a face.
Oh my god.
He had like recurring nightmares, and there was one very sweet because there's an interview with him in a New York article I read. This is where I was like, oh, this is a new perspective. This is interesting because this dude like saved the day.
Mm.
Anyway, so like he said that he's better now because he would like go shopping with his daughter and she would be like, Daddy, don't look in the corner. Like she would be like frantic, like, don't look in the corner, Daddy. And he would just look. And it was like a cardboard cut out of a monkey. And he'd
Oh.
have to like just laugh because he's like, if I don't laugh, what else can I do? But essentially, because he wasn't receiving any compensation for his therapy, unions and stuff passed a rule where it's like, actually, no, if a cop kills someone in the line of duty and they need therapy for it, it's compensated. So if you have to like fatally shoot an animal, you should receive the same kind of compensation if you need it.
Yes.
So
100%.
that led to that becoming a thing.
That's a nice thing to take away from this awful
Yeah,
fucking situation that Sandy
essentially.
fucking caused.
So he'd only ever fired his gun once before in the line of duty, and it was to put a deer down after it was hit by a car.
Oh,
So he'd
Oh,
never
that-
fired his gun at a live
Healthy
target.
animal.
Yeah.
and he
Not
did
even a human.
that first time to
Yeah.
put something out of its misery in a situation where there's nothing you can fucking do, really.
Essentially. So Susie was grief stricken. There's a quote from her here. I'm hollow now. I slept with him every night until you've eaten with a chimp and bathed with a chimp. You don't know a chimp.
I'm sorry, is it Susie or Sandy? I've
Oh,
confused
sorry,
myself.
Sandy.
Oh, it
I
is
have the
Sandy.
wrong. Yeah, Sandy. Susie is
Was the
Travis's mother.
mum,
Yeah.
yeah.
But no, this is that was a quote from Sandy after Travis's death. They did decapitate him post mortem so they could test him for rabies, and then they did like another check on his body. That's when they found like he has Xanax in his system and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Basically, yeah, super fucked up.
She wasn't
she was-
charged, was she?
No, but she did kind of go like low key bankrupt because of all of the like shit that went down. Like,
Oh
with
no.
oh no, it was like being sued. So she died of an aneurysm not very long after. I think like 2 years later. Basically, she was buried with the ashes of Jerry and the ashes of Travis. She left the house virtually abandoned, and when he died, like she refused like clean up any of the blood or anything. She's like, no, nah. Basically, she didn't think she'd done anything wrong.
Yeah.
Look, there
Because she
does
like
seem to
loved
be
him. Yeah.
some mental illness there, because obviously hoarding is often
Trauma
something
response.
that we see. Yeah, exactly. She lost a child, and then she lost Jerry and possibly her earlier husbands. I don't know what happened to them.
I know one of them was abusive.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think one other one did die.
Yeah, so look, I have limited sympathy for the fact that, look, there's definitely something instability wise going on there. But fucking hell, lady, you were told that he is dangerous 7 fucking years before this happened, and you didn't think it was a problem, and you insist after he has almost murdered someone, completely and irrevocably changed their life forever. That, and obviously, like, doesn't think that this is any of her problem because she's like, oh no, she volunteered to come.
Yeah.
Like,
No one
fuck
volunteers
you.
to get their face ripped off.
No one volunteers to get the face rubbed off. This is fucking awful, and this is on you. This is your fault.
Yes.
You should not have allowed this to happen.
Because there is an
Like-
abuse of power there too. Like, she's living in this woman's property rent free.
Mm-hmm.
Help me with my home duties, or I'm going to kick you out. Because before Charlotte did come to live with Sandy, she was homeless for quite a long time with
That's
her daughter.
a huge abuse of power.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like, she also abused Travis. Like, she didn't take care of him properly. She spoiled him, which is not healthy for a human or an animal.
No.
Like, she drugged him. That's fucked up. There's no way for him to consent to those things.
No.
Like, I know animal consent is something that's a weird subject to talk about these days, but I think that's something that's going to be important in the coming years.
Definitely, yeah.
This is all her fault. She caused this. It is awful that it happened, and she took zero responsibility for it, and she was not charged for it, and she definitely should have been. And I wonder if Charlotte, if she died of an aneurysm shortly after, couldn't work, didn't produce anything else, and left a property basically dilapidated, I hope Charlotte got some fucking money, but how, I don't know.
Yeah. No, she got something, but it would definitely, I feel like the extent of her injuries and what I know of the American healthcare system, I feel like 17 mil wouldn't cover it. Just quietly. She got moved to several different facilities for her like rehabilitation surgeries. Like, it was insane. Anyway, that is why you shouldn't have a chimp as a pet, ladies and gentlemen.
Exotic animals are not a good idea.
No, but even like right from the beginning, the adoption of Travis in the beginning was just, it shouldn't have happened.
No. He was taken from his mother so early, like so early,
and not for a reason, just for entertainment, to be a pet.
Just to fill the hole that she just needed to go to therapy. Really, from that beginning, she did.
Having all that being said, the reaction that Connie has in the documentary with Louis Theroux does seem quite remorseful. Like, she doesn't sell them for profit anymore.
That's good.
She doesn't have any kind of human contact with her chimpanzees because they're also very old, but she will just, like, if someone is in the same position as Sandy was, she's like, and they don't want it at the age of maturity, she's like, I'll just take it. And they're really scary. Like, again, I do like drive this home. Go and watch that doco. If you're in Australia, it's on Stan. It might even be on SBS Plus, because I do know there are some of Louis Theroux's docos on some free-to-air services. But it's fucked. Not in like a disturbing way, just in the like, these animals aren't meant to be kept as pets. And there is a lot more people on there than just Joe Exotic and Connie Casey. There are quite a few individuals that are like high-key human trash. And there is a lot of people that have like exotic apes and primates and monkeys as pets, and one of them even pierced their ears, and that's really fucked up. So go watch it. And that's the story of Travis the chimpanzee.
Thank you. That was wonderful. You did such a good job of covering that. I fucking love that story.
Thanks. I love it too. It's really interesting.
It's so interesting. It's awful. It's so awful. But fucking hell, like, I don't understand how it's still possible to get away with owning animals in that like way. 100%. I don't know. I don't like it.
That country is very broken.
Yeah, I mean,
in so many ways.
There was that I think it was on the Tiger King special, but there was the guy who had a whole fucking zoo, basically Joe Exotic, and then I think he either went bankrupt or he was divorced. Something terrible happened that mentally like tipped him over an edge, and he killed himself and let all the animals out, and so there was just like 50 fucking big cats and all these other animals roaming around basically like rural America, and cops had to just shoot them all, every last one of them.
It's fucked up.
It's fucked up. It's awful. It's not good for literally anyone involved, except for the people profiting off it.
So stop it.
Stop it. Cease.
Anyway, welcome back, everyone. Yay!
Yay!
I'm very glad to be back. It's nice to be recording. It's nice to be sitting in front of the microphone.
Isn't it? It's
good.
Yes. I've missed it very much. This was a very long episode as a result because we obviously got really overexcited.
We're making up for it.
Yeah.
Have all of our lovely voices for 2 hours. We love you.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Yes, exactly. Well, I don't think I have anything else to say to you people.
Just had enough of us already. 2 hours is enough.
My grumpy old lady instincts are kicking in.
No, that's fair. It is almost dinner time, so I am ready for something to eat.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll close out with a thank you, dear listener, for listening. If you liked it, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, WyrdSistersPodcast.com for all of our socials. Please leave us some loving because we love you.
Tell us if there's something you'd like us to cover. We are open to ideas. We like to
do.
Because we like a lot of weird shit, but sometimes some things just don't occur to you because you get stuck thinking about stuff.
Tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Tell us some weird shit. Tell us some fucked up shit, please.
We like
We want to hear from you.
We need the validation. Talk to us.
Please, thank you. And with that, we bid you
adieu.
Adieu. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.